Hi, this is Theo from PuckerBlogs.com. Today I want to answer someone's question. Rebecca Nelson asked me what is a fixative and how do you use them, what are they for. So this video is going to cover fixatives. Fixative is like a chemical that you can spray onto your artwork to protect it. For example, if you are drawing a pencil sketch, it's graphite, it's prone to smudging. If you spray fixative over it, this is going to protect your pencil sketch to prevent smudging. And there are actually many different types of fixative. For example, the one that I have here in my hand is a universal fixative. This is good for, it's a general purpose fixative that's good for pastel, watercolor, gouache, painting, charcoal, and pencil. Or at least that's what they say here. So this is general purpose one. I also have one that is specific to pastel, and the reason why there are different types of fixative for different medium is because each medium of course reacts differently with paper. So for example, if you are using pastel on paper, you will notice that when you use pastel there is a lot of dust, so as compared to, let's say, ink drawing. So if you need something stronger for pastel, then you should get the pastel fixative. This is a Krylon UV resistant clear fixative. Matte is for it's matte. So after you spray it, it will be matte and it protects against harmful UV light rays. Actually, all these fixatives that you see here, they protect against UV light rays because the harmful light, they will break down your pigment and cause colors to fade away. So by spraying fixative, it does help a bit to protect your colors. This is the bottle that I'm currently using, the Daily Raleigh Perfects Colorless Fixative. This is a small bottle for pastel. I use this to spray my pencil sketches. And this last bottle here is a Krylon workable fixative. So what it means by workable is, for example, this is for pencil, pastel, and chalk drawings. After you spray the fixative onto the surface, you can still work on the surface, and that is what it means, it's workable. The most important thing when it comes to using fixative is to test the fixative on some scrap piece of paper and also on some sample drawings. Do not spray directly onto your original drawing, always test them. Let me show you why. These are two pieces of sketch that I drew inside the Kinokuniya bookstore here in Singapore. And I drew this one on the left side with this Uniball Jetstream ballpoint pen and water-soluble graphite. This sketch on the right side of some bookshelves is drawn with sharpie markers and water-soluble graphite. So let's take a look at this one with ballpoint pen. So after I sprayed the fixative, I realized that the colors, the fixative broke up the colors. Let me zoom in closer for you to see. So you can see here that all the colors, the ballpoint line, the color actually broke up. So the reason is because this ballpoint pen doesn't use pigment ink, and as a result, when you spray a chemical like the fixative over the ink, the ballpoint pen ink, it broke up the drawing and it destroyed this area here. So I only sprayed this area and immediately the colors start breaking up and I stopped immediately. So this part of the sketch is still okay, but this part of the sketch is destroyed. So that is why you should always test your fixative on some scrap piece of paper first before spraying on your originals. This is a sketch with water-soluble graphite and sharpie markers. After learning from my mistake from this sketch, I know that I should not be spraying fixative over sharpie markers. And the reason why I want to spray fixative is because this is water-soluble graphite. Even though it's supposed to be fixed after it's dry, but somehow if you rub your hands over the dark areas, the graphite is still going to come off. So that's why I want to spray fixative. But in this case, I'm not able to spray fixative anymore because I use Sharpie markers for the lines. So yeah, let me show you another example. This is a pencil sketch that I drew at a cafe, and I sprayed fixative over this page, these two pages. After I sprayed one layer of fixative, I realized that, oh, the fixative actually bleed through to the other page, which has some drawings drawn with marker ink, and the fixative basically just broke up the marker ink. So now you can see all these ugly impressions from the opposite page. So this is something to take note of when you are spraying fixative on your sketchbook pages. If there's one lesson you should take away from this video, it is to always test your fixative on some scrap piece of paper before applying to your original artwork. Also make sure that you know what medium you are using, and if you are spraying in a sketchbook like this, make sure you check the other pages, because the fixative, it does bleed through the paper because the fixative is quite wet. So now I'm going to show you how I spray fixative on my sketchbooks and also loose sheets. I will just put some newspaper on the floor and then put my sketchbook on top of the newspaper. I will use clips to clip down my sketchbook. The reason is because when you spray fixative over the paper, fixative is wet. This is going to cause the paper to buckle, and some of the fixative might collect. If you spray too much, it might collect at the lower points of the paper. So I want an even application. That is why I use clips like this to clip my sketchbook. I use only 2 clips here. If you have a very big sketchbook, you might want to use 1 clip at each corner of the sketchbook. I'm not going to spray this particular sketch because usually for my pen and ink watercolor sketches, there's no need to spray fixative because it's inside the sketchbook. However, if I'm using, let's say, pencil with watercolor, I'm going to spray fixative because the pencil lines, they are still prone to smudging. So in this case, this is a pen and ink sketch. There's no point for me spraying fixative. Another important thing to note is to use fixative in a well-ventilated room. This is some sort of chemical and it's very harmful to health if you breathe it in, so be careful about that. The last thing I want to talk about is whether or not you need to use fixative for your artwork. So it really depends on the type of medium you're using. If you're using dry medium like graphite, color pencils, chalk, pastels, crayon, oil, pastels, well then I recommend you use fixative. Anything that when you rub your finger over and it will smudge, I recommend you use fixative. This will protect your artwork. If you are using a dry medium like graphite, sometimes you may even need to spray 1 or 2 or even 3 layers to permanently fix the artwork. And definitely for chalk, you need to spray a few layers. Make sure the first layer is dry first before you spray the second layer, just to make sure that the application is even. And I think fixative is quite affordable, something good to have. If you're using watercolor, then probably there's no reason to use fixative because watercolor when it's dry is permanent. But if you are using pencil with watercolor, even in a sketchbook like this, the pencils, they will rub against the pages and they will smudge. So even for sketchbooks, you might still need to use fixative and spray over if you are using pencils with watercolor. And that's all for my review today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, do so for more art product reviews, sketching tips and techniques, and also book reviews. Thanks for watching. I hope this is useful. See you in the next video. Bye.